It's October, one of the best months of the year, and there's so many exciting things going on. One of those is TBR Harvest. There's a couple different ways you can participate in this readathon. It is still going on, so I will have everything linked in the description for you to check it out if you're not already familiar. I was so kindly asked to be a part of Booktuber Bingo for this round, so I have a prompt that could show up in the bingo boards. I think it's a great prompt, but because of my schedule for this month, I won't be participating in the Booktuber Bingo part. I will be participating in one of the other versions. There's this little pumpkin patch one. There's a gravestone one called Tombs and Tomes. So I'm going to be doing that one. That one is a scavenger hunt, and there is a new prompt every day. You don't have to do every prompt every day. I am just going to be figuring out the prompt is on the day I need to start a new book and going with that. So it is the first of the month, and the first prompt is to read a book with a black cover. I have some options. I have Her Many Faces, which I have from the library right now. I also have a project. Well, it's not really a project. It's just kind of like I don't want to have books on my TBR forever and ever, so I have a rule that if I don't read them in the next calendar year, I have to unhaul them at the end of the year. So anything I got in 2024, I have to read by the end of 2025 or unhaul them. We're getting close to that, and I still have like 17 books I gotta get through. So 2 of those, The Final Girl Support Group by Grady Hendrix and Cackle by Rachel Harrison, are ones that I have to get to. Both have pretty black covers. Am I gonna read either of these? No, because there's a hold on this one after me, so I only have this one through the 15th, and I need to get to it. I'm doing a kind of buddy read of Cackle on my Patreon because they get to vote for one book every month to go on my TBR game, and I'm starting to do chats for all of them so we can talk about the book people are most interested in seeing me read and they can read it along. So Cackle will be happening this month. It will. I think this one would be great for this season, and I probably would have picked that one over this one, but my audiobook is not ready yet. It is for both of these. Also, this one is shorter, so we are going to read Her Many Faces by Nikki Cloak. This is a debut, I believe. 5 men, 5 stories, but are they ready for hers? Her father, her childhood friend, her lover, her lawyer, her journalist. They're poisoned? Ooh, fun. I'm excited for this. I feel like it's going to be messy, some revenge, very entertaining. I don't know if I'm going to get through this whole thing today, but I'm kind of feeling like reading. And that was not the case for me in September, so I'm going to embrace it. I think I'm going to do my diamond painting too. Some updates for you. I have made it. Sorry, I have so many books over here. I don't even know. I have made it 73 pages into Her Many Faces, and I am going to DNF this one. I just cannot make myself care about what's going on. So this one has a super interesting concept. We are following 5 different men who are connected to this woman who has been accused of murder. So we are following the lawyer. Well, they're not called lawyers because this is from the UK. Barrister? Oh, it says lawyer in the synopsis. So her lawyer, who is new to practicing, or he's just coming back from a break, and he doesn't really want to take on this case because he doesn't know if he believes that she is innocent, which is what she is claiming. So we're following him. We are also following her dad, who is telling us things about her childhood. We're learning about her childhood friend, who is like kind of a weirdo. Also her lover, which I did not get to that part because that doesn't come in until later. Like I'm 23% in and haven't seen him. And then a journalist who is investigating her. He is in contact with her brother, trying to get like these stories and everything. And then there's also this like story that's weaving between all of them about Catherine, who is the one that is accused of killing these 4 rich men, like poisoning them at a country club, private club. She's a waitress and they all die. So everything about her life from so many different perspectives is being discussed and picked apart. And I think in theory that is such an interesting concept. And talking about it, I'm like, oh, but maybe I should actually keep trying to read it. But I have put it down and picked back up and been like, okay, actually I don't want to read this anymore, so I'll put it down again. And then I'm like, well, it's an interesting concept, so I go back to it. And I feel like at this point I just need to quit. sadly. This is kind of similar in concept to like The Quiet Tenant, Notes on an Execution, things like that, but it is swapped and we are following these men connected to a woman who is accused of something. I liked the conspiracy theory stuff in there. It made her seem a bit unreliable, which I do enjoy, and I feel like this would be okay, but I have been in like a weird reading mood and I don't want to force myself to read something just for the sake of reading it when I could just like quit and read something else. This is not related to TBR Harvest, but I don't have any other place that I'm going to be talking about this. I am reading some books that I have on my physical TBR that I don't have audiobooks this month, so I like figured out how many pages all of them would be and how many pages I needed to read each day. So doing that, I put up a poll on my Patreon for them to vote for the first one, and Every House is Haunted by Ian Rogers won. This is short stories, which I historically don't love, but in my brain they were like connected stories. I realized they're not, and also there's like tons and tons and tons of stories in here, and if I am gonna like a short story collection, it is likely going to be all from an author, which this is, and also longer stories. Like, I don't want 30 stories in one book. I want like 5, and I want them really to be novellas. So I love a novella, but a short story, I feel like there's not enough to it for me in this case. So I'm DNFing this one as well, just in case you wanted to know. So it is still the first, so I am going to be picking up The Final Girl Support Group by Grady Hendrix. I've read everything from him. This is the last one that I need to read. Okay, I lied. I have not read his Kung Fu book. Other than that, I've read everything, including his sci-fi novella. Also, I have been working on my diamond painting. It is the one that I was working on during Summerween, if you watched that video. I've made some progress, but they take forever, and I haven't worked on them in a while, so I am bringing that back out. I have been reading The Final Girl Support Group. I am 113 pages in, and I know I talked about my history with Grady Hendrix already, and based on all that, I was still expecting to like this one, but I was the most scared of this because a lot of people don't really love this one. And a lot of people have complaints about the audiobook, which is narrated by, I can't remember who it is, but one of the like very popular horror movie final girls, which I think is cool, but she is like significantly older than the character is supposed to be. So those people's main complaints, but I'm like, it doesn't really change my thought if she's older versus younger. Everything kind of feels the same anyway. I mean, there is like this, like, not relationship, but discussions of things that would, I guess, be weird if she was 65. But I feel like, I don't know. It's not bothering me. So in this, we are following Lynette, and she is a final girl. In her final girl support group, she discusses life and struggles of being famous in this way because these horrific things have been sensationalized for all of these women, turned into movies, things like that. So in this universe, all of the very popular slasher movies are based on true events. So they all have franchises and are scared that people are going to end up coming after them to kind of finish the job and make sure there's no final girls. So we're following Lynette, and she meets with, is it 5? Or there's 6. She's meeting with 5 other final girls and their therapist. So there's 7 total, and they're trying to like work through everything in this support group. And then one of the final girls ends up not showing up to the meeting, and then Lynette decides that somebody is out to get all of them and off all of the final girls. So she is so paranoid, which I kind of love to read. Just the like obsession that goes into things like this, the paranoia that comes with it. It's reminding me a little bit of My Heart is a Chainsaw by Stephen Graham Jones, a little bit of Death in Her Hands by Ottessa Moshfegh, but also very different. I feel like it's a combination of the two of those, but also am I feeling like it's kind of like Death in Her Hands because that's an old lady, and this sounds like an old lady in my ears because I am reading along and listening to the audiobook. This is also fun because there is mixed media in this. After every chapter, we are getting some sort of thing. So we start off with a Reddit post, and then we get things like articles from Times Magazine, the notes from the therapist for the Final Girls support group, a page from a book, just different things that tie into this story that are relevant to what specifically is happening, but not, because it's not like something in the book happens and then there's an article about that thing. It's like something about them and then a thing that talks about Final Girls in media. He did this in We Sold Our Souls as well, and I was obsessed with it, so I'm really liking that aspect of this. I'm having a fun time. I like our main character. I like seeing her paranoia. I like watching how that then causes her to do these things that maybe don't make sense, seeing how she's been planning for these things. Like, this is not a new thing that she's feeling. It's something that she's been impacted by her whole life. And it's not done in like a funny way, but it's also kind of entertaining. Our main character is funny. Like, the way she responds to things, like, separate of her trauma from going through this horrific thing is just kind of funny to me. And, like, some of her comments make me laugh. I'm really liking it. I think it's fun. I think it's fast-paced. There's been things happening this entire time. Do they all completely make sense? And do I understand her logic? No, absolutely not. But I like to read it. I'm now 240 pages into the Final Girl support group. I was planning on talking to you a bit earlier because I am about 75% in now, but I was making banana bread and doing laundry and cleaning the kitchen, doing dishes, things like that. So I accidentally listened to more than I realized, which is great for me personally because it means I did not realize how much time I was spending doing things that I didn't really want to be doing other than making banana bread. I ate one already and I made like chocolate chip muffins out of them. So incredible. I love it. It is my go-to recipe to make them, so I knew they were going to be good. But I'm excited to have some at my house now to eat because I haven't had any in a while. I'm still really enjoying this. I feel like it should be over like now. I think that it only needs just a tiny bit left. I don't know if it needs quite as many pages. The thing is, too, it feels longer than it is, like, in time for me because the audiobook narrator is so slow. And I understand why she was picked, and I like that this whole book is an ode to slashers and Final Girls. All of the characters' names in here, the Final Girls in here, are the real-life actors' names of all of the Final Girls in very popular slashers that we know. So I like that nod to it. I like a lot of discussions it's having with, like, fan culture. It is different in this specifically because our slasher movies aren't based on real things, but it is in here, but it's still commentary on how society reacts towards serial killers and that whole thing versus even just, like, general violence and murders. Like, we don't glorify people who just kill one person, so why does that happen when there's multiple people involved? And obviously there's a lot of nuance with that. It's not saying that there's every person that has ever killed multiple people is glorified and all this stuff. But I think that our trying to understand these kinds of people and thinking that it's, like, intriguing can go too far sometimes. So I'm appreciating that part of those conversations. I really just think at this point it's too long. Page number wise, this is like 330 pages, but the font is pretty small and I just think it's a little bit too long. We could have cut some stuff out, but I'm still enjoying the paranoia in here, the lengths that people are willing to go to save themselves, because really that's what a final girl is. what are you willing to do to survive? And what were you not willing to do until then when it wasn't your life on the line, but now it is? Adrienne King, who was the Friday the 13th's first final girl, is the one that narrates this. So, like, I truly appreciate everything, and I like the mixed media that we are getting in here. If you are participating in Horror Bingo from Sarah from Wicked Reading, this would fit for the hard mode for mixed media. There's so many different kinds of things in here. We Sold Our Souls would also work for that. So far, so good. It's not my favorite from Grady Hendrix, but I am truly enjoying it. What are you doing? Bowser desperately wants attention right now. Okay. I have finished. Sorry, I'm turned this way because Bowser is forcing me to pet him. So who am I to tell him no? I have finished the Final Girls support group. I thought this was so much fun. I'm gonna give it 4 stars. It is still at the like lower end of my ranking for his books. My top 2 are We Sold Our Souls and the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. But I've given a lot of his books 4 stars. So I'm happy with it. I think that it had a lot of good things to say about how women are treated when they are victims, how there's this sensationalization of people who honestly just do bad things in general. So there's that. Bowser. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I don't have much else to say. The end is very fast-paced. There's a lot of things going on. There's some, like, things that you think you know what's going on, and then it turns out maybe you didn't, or you only knew, like, a little piece of everything. So it was just fun to see everything come together. I liked our main character, and I had a good time. So it is now the 7th. So I need to see what the prompt is for the 7th. I personally am not going to go through and find things for the other days to just like tell you that the book exists. So on the 7th, will you load? The prompt is to read something with fire. Was I this yellow before? Anyway. Okay, after looking through my physical TBR, I have one book that has fire on the cover, and that is Feeders by Matt Serafini. I don't know why I didn't grab it for you. There's literally a fire emoji on the cover, but I am waiting for the audiobook to come in, and I still have 5 weeks, so I think I am going to read something else because I don't want to use a credit for it because I already bought it and I have the physical copy. So what I'm going to read is one that I got from Libro.fm from their ALC program. I love Libro.fm. They have so many audiobooks, and I love that they give to, well, not give to, but they are affiliated with local indie bookstores. So you can choose the one you want your money to go to, and it helps out bookstores as well. I do use it outside of the influencer program as well. But one that I did get is The Guilty One by Kirsten Modlin. This is a shorter thriller book. This main character is called to the scene of a horrific accident that her husband was involved in. She's asked to identify his body. Then she discovers that it is not him, but the person who died has her husband's possessions, and they have identical tattoos. So she's trying to figure out what happened, where her husband is now, and what really is going on. I have a lot of fun with Kirsten Modlin thrillers, so I'm looking forward to this one. I'm hoping to get a little bit done tonight. It is Dancing with the Stars night, so I will be watching that. And I need to do some editing and stuff, but I'm hoping to get a third in tonight. It's late, like 1 in the morning, and it's been a full day since I've talked to you. So I have the audiobook, and this book is on Kindle Unlimited, so I am listening to that and following along for The Guilty One. I am 35% in, which is 89 pages, so this really is like a pretty short one, and I am very invested in this. I love this author's writing. I find it very readable. It is so easy to get through. It is entertaining. Perfect popcorn thrillers. So if you do have Kindle Unlimited, highly recommend. But there's tons and tons and tons on Libby as well, so they're not exclusive. So in this, we're mostly following Celine. So at the very beginning, she gets this call from the police saying that there's an accident and her husband didn't make it. Can you come in to identify the body? She gets there and they are like, okay, you're gonna look at these photos, trying to prepare her, and she's like, but don't I just like go in and identify the body? And they're like, we're not trying to traumatize you. So they like have this whole lead up and they show her these pictures. She's looking at it, she is absolutely devastated, flips the page to the next picture and realizes it is not her husband. This person looks very similar, has a matching tattoo, but she knows it is not her husband by the face. His hand is different. He's wearing a different wedding ring, and her husband is nowhere to be found. So very quickly she realizes that things maybe weren't what she thought they were, and her husband's job is saying that like last week he booked a vacation and took time off, but to her he's been going into work every day. So she's trying to figure out everything that is going on, and there's not a lot of clues seemingly. So she's trying to like drive around to get in contact with these people. From there she ends up learning information as it goes in books like this. Her parents are involved. They have 2 children and his parents are involved. Let me see what's in the synopsis because I don't want to tell you much more than that. And then we are also getting a little bit of lead up to this disappearance, to this car accident, really, from Tate. So we are learning about the few days leading up to this and kind of the shenanigans he was involved in, but we don't know truly what happened, so we are with Celine figuring all of this out. Just so easy to read, so fast paced. The writing is so compelling. I don't know what it is because this kind of plot is not something that's like the most incredible thing I've ever heard of, the most like I need to read this right now kind of book, but I really am excited to get back into the book. She's trying to figure out if he's alive, and if he is, what caused all of this. It's clear that people are lying, and that really sucks for her. So it's been like 24 hours since I have read any of that though, even though I really want to get back into it. I have started another book because my library book is due very, very soon. So today is the 8th, and the prompt is to read a book with orange on the cover. The fact that it said the color versus like people thinking a literal orange is just truly the funniest thing. But for that, I have started The Dream Hotel by Layla Lalami. I don't remember how that is said, but I will let you know at the end. I don't read tons and tons of sci-fi, but I like a lot of it. And I was like vaguely interested in this one. I heard about it at some point. I don't keep up with this book club, like, or I don't even, anyway. But I went to an event and she was there, so I got it signed. And I think the premise of this is really cool. It has to do with surveillance and what technology can lead to with that. I am 8% in. I was listening to the audiobook, so I don't know exactly how many pages in I am, but I wanted to start this because my audiobook is due like very soon, but also on today, so that I could start it with the orange on the cover because it doesn't fit for the next couple days. But we are following our main character, Sarah, and she is at an airport and she gets pulled aside for this like bonus screening, and it seems suspicious that she was the one that was chosen for that. And this algorithm apparently has determined that she is at imminent risk of harming the person she loves the most, her husband, and for his safety, she has to be taken to this facility to be monitored for 21 days. And it is a very interesting place. This does feel like more clinical and very suspicious that everybody at this place is a woman. Literally anything they do causes them to be stuck here for longer. They can't contact people. They are very kept in the dark about everything. So I think it's going to have some really incredible discussions in it. There is also a little bit of mixed media in here. There's an article. I'm not really any further than that. But so far I think this is very intriguing. I just feel a little removed from the story. But I think it's going to be like really thought-provoking. The whole conversation surrounding surveillance and these dreams, like I'm so interested in that. So I am going to, I think, read a little bit more of The Guilty One as I'm getting ready for bed. I think I'm going to finish this one before I get fully into the Dream Hotel, but I did start it and I'm really enjoying both my reads. I have made it to 68% in The Guilty Ones, and I don't have anything like new to say. I still don't think this story itself is anything incredible, unique, groundbreaking, but it is so easy to read. I'm entertained by it. I'm flying through it. And I do want to know what happens. Whenever I'm saying that there's like nothing exciting about it because of the writing, the story is good enough. That sounds really bad. I don't need the plot to be the most new, exciting, unique thing because I find the writing very engaging. So I am very much enjoying it. I have just a little bit left. I'm about to go to IKEA, so I should be able to pretty much finish it on the way there, so I will talk to you in the car. I just need some like bins, some things to organize, and some new bedding. So like nothing that exciting, but I do need to do that. We only have, this is so random, we only have one duvet cover because they're expensive, and our mud, the dirt, is like a clay, like the red stuff. So Bowser stains things, so it would be better if we had another one instead of taking everything off and just like leaving the bed completely exposed. If we have another one to switch with immediately, then we can like wash things when it gets the mud on it. Bowser's a big dog. He likes to bark at the neighbors, so he has a patch that the grass is gone. It's a whole thing. Anyway, so I do need to do that. It's like 35 minutes to get there, so it'll be nice to pretty much be able to finish it on the way there. I'm going to listen to it a little bit more before I leave. I wish I had more to say at the end. Hopefully I do, but it's feeling like 3.5 to 4 stars right now. Hello. I am at IKEA and I just finished The Guilty One. I feel like I got whiplash at the end of this book. There was change after change and things twisting, and what you thought was not actually what was going on, which is fun, but also it was just a lot. There was an annoying character in here that I hate reading about horrible men from their perspective. I don't like it. So I'm between 3 and 3.5 stars for this because it was just like entertaining, but not my favorite story, not my favorite twists, even though I generally liked everything. I have enjoyed from Kirsten Modulin pretty much every time I have read from her, so I will continue to read them. They're usually short, fast-paced, easy to get through, entertaining, but this one was just like, it was a book that I read, I enjoyed it while I was reading it, but I'm never going to be thinking about it past that point. If you're looking for popcorn thrillers, if you like things kind of like Frida McFadden, I would recommend reading from Kirsten Modulin. So yeah, that is my thought on The Guilty One. I'm glad I read it. It's one that would have sat in Libro.fm for a long time without me picking it up, even though I know that I like her stuff. So I'm going to go into IKEA. I have my earbuds, so I think I'm going to listen to some of the Dream Hotel when I'm in there. I tend to wander around a lot at IKEA, so I might be able to get through a decent amount. We'll see. I have made it pretty far into the Dream Hotel. I've been listening to this while I have been doing cleaning at my house. So I'm 166 pages in, so I just got to part 3. So I am liking this, but I'm not finding it very engaging, if that makes sense. I like the discussions that are in this book. I like the conversations it's having. And this story that it is telling, I think the idea of this dream hotel and being put in here as like surveillance because of this algorithmic decision that somebody is going to cause harm to somebody else is so interesting. But I just feel like I'm hovering over the story and not that I'm really in it. My personal preference is a first-person POV, and I think that this story could really benefit from that for me because it just feels so detached and clinical, and I understand that to a certain extent, but I really want to feel what our main character is feeling because this is a very scary situation to be in. She was just trying to get home. She has a husband and 2 young kids, and she's detained and is told it's going to be 21 days when she already like didn't do anything. And then because of a lot of probably very real, true to life circumstances with like the politics of things, with things getting pushed back because of whatever and things getting lost and other people influencing things, she's been here for so long. I don't think we're getting enough of our main character for me to feel invested in her story either. It just is so removed, but these discussions are so unique and scary because they could happen. The information that people have about everybody is just a lot, and then seeing the dream aspect of here on top of that is just, it's weird, it's strange. So the dreams that people have also are impacting their scores. Everybody has a score. If you are over a certain number, you are deemed to be a danger to specific people or anyone. So seeing that is a really, really cool concept. We are getting some of her dreams, which I am enjoying, and I'm curious how that's going to be incorporated a little bit more. This definitely is like a literary fiction sci-fi. I just, because of who I am and who I am as a reader, I want it to be more of a thriller. And there's like maybe a little bit of those aspects, but it's just like watching these people. I do like the passage of time and the way that that is done with these emails and finding out more like specifics of the dream hotel with kind of mixed media a little bit, like support tickets and emails and whatever. So I do like that aspect of it. I think it's very unique because we're not following her every single day for months and months and months, but the time jumps feel very natural. In my brain, this was going to be a little bit more of a thriller, even though logically I knew that it wasn't. So like I am missing that part of it, but I'm liking what it's saying and the things that this book is doing. I just have to truly set my expectations like where they're supposed to be. With what the book is, I'm liking it. I just wish that I was more invested emotionally, specifically like with the characters. It is quite a few days later. I had to put this on pause for Halloween weekend, and now it's the 21st, but I have finally finished The Dream Hotel. I am going to give this one 3 stars. I really enjoyed the discussion and the way that everything was set up. The idea of people being able to monitor our dreams in this capacity and use it with like this algorithm to determine how much of a threat people are, and also seeing how these people were treated in this facility that was not a prison but pretty much a prison, how there were only women in there that are apparently so dangerous. The idea of an algorithm like being able to determine this much and impact people's lives, surveillance in general. We're being watched. We're all being watched. And most of the time I'm like, oh haha, my phone knows where I am at all times, like stuff like that. But the idea of technology being used in a capacity to determine your future movements and things, terrifying. It's all really scary. My problem is that I didn't feel connected to this as a story. I think that it had a lot of good things to say. It was an interesting concept, but as like an entertainment reading the book kind of thing. I think that it was just okay for me. I never felt anything for any of the characters. I never felt any sort of tension. Even in the moments where our main character didn't know what was going on and was stressed because of different circumstances, I just didn't feel that. And I don't think this is supposed to be like the most entertaining, shocking, twisty book ever, but I feel like I could have felt a little more emotion with it. It just felt very removed and a little clinical for me. I like the emails in here that we are getting, the different like mixed media that is showing the passing of time. I think I talked about that earlier. I enjoyed that because our main character is in here for significantly longer than she initially is told she's going to be. And I think it was a really great concept. So I would read more from this author, but I generally don't truly go out of my way to read more like literary books. But the fact that this one had more of like a sci-fi twist to it drew me in. But surveillance, algorithms, AI, all that stuff, really, really scary. And I think the way that people that were enforcing these rules were acting as well was very scary and kind of telling and not unrealistic. So yeah, I would recommend it if you like this kind of book. For me, it was just 3 stars. So I am going to end my TBR Harvest vlog here. Thank you so much to Leandra for putting this whole thing together. I love that there's so many different ways for people to participate in it, and I'm really glad that I got to be part of Booktuber Bingo. Overall, a very, very successful video, so I'm happy with how this went. If you made it to the end and want to leave me an emoji to say you were here, you can leave me a chair. Is there a chair emoji for the final girl support group? Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope to see you in my next one. Bye.